Wow. Isn't that beautiful out there? I'm on the dock right now. Everything's frozen. It's cold. It's about, I don't know, 10 after 7 a.m. But it's beautiful. I figure it's a nice time to do a story time. Actually, I'm at my, this is my grandfather's place, and when he passed away, my parents moved here. And of course, I come up all the time whenever I can. It's a little bit of a drive, but I love spending time with them, and I love spending time on the property. Christina likes it up here too, so I try to come up as much as possible. Gus loves it up here. Can't wait till summer. You know, Gus can follow me around, do some fishing, do some more, you know, warm weather ATVing, looking at plants, hacking wood with knives, all kinds of fun stuff, right? Anyway, the backstory here is that when we come up, there's a spare room with a single bed, and it's just too small for me and Christina. I mean, we go in there, of course, and we're all lovey-dovey, and we have our time and stuff, but when it comes time to, like, you know, I gotta go to bed, I want to stretch out a little bit, you know, so I give her the bed. I sleep on the floor, and the floor sucks. My neck's killing me, my back's killing me, so I couldn't sleep. So I'm up, and everyone else is still snoozing away, and I figure, what the hell, why don't you come out here and do a video. So I'm out here. Let me get in front of the camera. Let me set this up a little bit. I don't want the sun shining right in my face, or so you can't see anything, so hopefully this will work. There I am. So what am I doing? I'm doing a story time video, and I'm talking about this knife right here. This is my Case Mako, and this has a long history. It's a beautiful lockback knife, and this is my most EDC blade ever. You guys know I love knives and I love the variety, so I'm constantly changing. But I carry this knife every single day as a youth, except for school, for probably 7 or 8 years straight. It doesn't have a tactical pocket clip. Can't even clip to my pocket. I put it in my pocket. It was never really a problem. It's heavy as hell. Never a problem. You know what I mean? It doesn't have a triad lock, or it's not a crazy titanium frame lock. You know, it doesn't cost $800. It's a knife that works. There's many like it out there. Just goes to show you don't have to spend an arm and a leg to get a knife that actually works. This thing's been to hell and back. Blade still looks like it was, you know, on day one. Of course, there's scratches. It's been sharpened many a times. You know, bolsters are all patinaed up. When this was brand new, it was nice and shiny and pretty, and you know, it's even more beautiful now than it ever was. This is a knife that I used. Always worked for me. Nice sturdy little clip point blade. Case cutlery, stainless steel. Damn neighbor dogs. Just works. So there you go. Let me tell you how I acquired this knife. I acquired this knife with my friend Chris. Chris and I spent so much time at his house. I practically lived there. I mean, I was there. We had sleepovers all the time. I say sleepovers because dudes don't have sleepovers. I just slept at his house. It wasn't like a pajama party sleepover. No, it was a dude sleepover, and so we hung out. During our youth, we would walk back behind his woods. Was like behind his house was woods. Deep woods, all right, and there was a trail that we kind of half made ourselves, and then went into like a big sand pit area. Now, directly behind his house, maybe less than a mile, there's a huge sand pit, and kids would come up there all the time. There was actually an offshoot off a road. There was a dirt road that went back there, and they go up there and they do ATVing, they do four-wheeling with their trucks, you know, dune buggies, all kinds of motorsports. You know, they made jumps, and you know, there's cool little turns, and people, you'd be able to fly around there. It was really, really awesome. I never really had anything like that most of my youth. I had a dirt bike once. My dad got me. It was a two-stroke. It was way too much power. He got it because he thought it'd be cool, and then when he got home, he hopped on it and tried it out, and he's like, you know what? I can't give this to you. You're gonna kill yourself on this thing. It's incredibly powerful. He came coming down the street. He must have been, I don't know, he must have been doing 80 miles an hour. It was ridiculous. That was attractive. Snot bubble. Ugh. It's cold as hell out here. I guess everybody knows. And did one of those laughs with my mouth shut, and it just kind of went, hopefully I didn't say anything. Anyway, yeah, so I didn't really have a dirt bike. I had a mini bike for a long time, but anyway, moving back. I have tons of other stories. Let me focus. Let me stay focused here in the cold. So we used to hang out at this sand pit all the time with other people, but then of course we'd venture way past the sand pit into the deep woods, and we do a little mountain climbing and stuff, and we were survivalists back then, without the go bags and without the tools and the gear and the paracord. Didn't have any of that crap. Just two guys taking a hike, coming back when it's dark. So yeah, maybe we couldn't have survived in the woods, but actually it's funny. I mean, I spent countless hours in the woods with Chris. I mean, I had my knife, but no gun or anything. I mean, well, I'm feel lucky looking back that we never really came across more bear than we did. I mean, there were definitely times where we saw a bear. I mean, big ass black bear, just friggin', 80 feet away, just looking at it. Just go, oh cool, look how cool the bear. Just watching it and just walking through the woods. Dumb kids. But anyway, our favorite pastime are fireworks. Loved fireworks. Oh my God. Any chance we got, we'd bring them out there and use them. We'd make them all the time. And I had this girl in school, Heather Cerruti was her name. She was a really, really cool chick. And her brother used to go to Mexico all the time, and he brought back garbage bags full of M80s. I mean, maybe 40, 50 at a time. And I know I say garbage bag, you think like, wow, it's like 1,000. No, I mean like a little garbage bag. A little 40, 50 is a lot though. And I was always a little entrepreneur. I've said this before in my other videos. And Heather was cool. She gave me a bunch of them for free, and I used to sell them in school. Of course, I saved a lot of them to do with Chris, but I get them for free, and then I would sell them for like $5 or $10 a piece. And of course, he's going, "Nah, real M80." It was amazing. We've done everything. We stuck them in trees. Try to drill out. We had an old drill out a hole in a tree, stick it in there. And again, I don't want to say we were dumb kids, but we certainly had our risks. We tempted fate quite a few times, and never really extended the fuses on them much. So you got that little tiny fuse, stuck them in a tree, lit it, ran away. The best, oh my God, one time we had an M80, the fuse went out, and there was only like maybe 1/8 of an inch on the fuse. I'm like, all right, Chris, here's what we're gonna do. I'm gonna stand like this and hold it back here. All right, because I know people blow their hands off with these things all the time, so I figure they blow their hands off because they don't have enough time, because they got to go like this and then throw it. No, I'm smart, right? So I'm like, all right, I'm going to hold it back here. You light it. As soon as I hear that, I'm going to chuck it. So I hold it back here, and I'm nervous as hell, too. And Chris is like, I don't know if we should do it. And then he's like, you know what? Screw it. Let's do it. So I'm like, all right, let's go, man. Let's do this. I got it back here. He's about to light it. I'm like, and then nothing's happening because the lighter won't light. I'm like on edge. So finally, I hear the lighter light up, and I hear the flame coming out, and it's super quiet. And so he lights it, and he goes, do it! Just screams, and I threw it as hard as I could. No shit, it blew up probably 5 feet in front of us. Couldn't hear anything right away. Super, super scary. The second it happened, we both looked at each other like, you still got your ears and your face and everything. Oh my God, the scariest thing, probably the most dangerous thing I've ever done in my life. Hands down. Very, very dumb. But thank God, nothing happened to us. Loved our fireworks. And then, of course, in the later years, we would smoke a lot of pot back there. Not much else to say about that. We had a lot of fun. Did some dangerous things, though. I think when you're smoking pot, you shouldn't really scale mountains and cliffs like we did, and we used to hike and stuff like that. Probably not a good idea, but once again, some higher power, I guess, was looking out for us because we never got hurt. Nothing more than a scrape here or there. No broken bones, didn't fall off the mountain or anything like that. But a lot of trekking while smoking. But anyway, where this story leads, of course, is the knife. So years and years later, we're probably 17-ish, maybe not even, like 16-ish. they started building in that sand pit. Whoever owned the property sold it, and a company wanted to build homes back there. You know, like a little community. I forget what it's called, but you know, it's just a bunch of little same houses in a row, whatever, townhouses or whatever. Anyway, so they started building back there, and frequently we would go back and you know, trek through, and there'd be construction workers and stuff, and they always yell at us like, "You can't be around here, get away." So we go back, you know, real late at night when everyone's home, and if they leave all the machinery and stuff. And sometimes we play in the machinery and sit in, you know, I mean, we weren't like little kids, but we thought it was cool climbing on the tractors and stuff, and the backhoes and all the other equipment, the cat equipment. It was interesting, right? So on one of these specific occasions, Chris trips on something sticking out of the ground. Well, just so happens to be this knife, which I would say 100% sure that it was one of the construction workers that had dropped it. But it was in the ground like this, all right? Just the butt end was sticking out. And he looked at it, he's like, "What the hell is it?" And I didn't see, this was all caked with mud and dirt and stuff. All I saw was the lockback. And I'm like, "Dude, that's a knife." And of course, I'm still the knife man. And, you know, Chris can appreciate a knife, but he's not super into them. So he's like, "Oh, it's so cool." And he got a stick and he dug around because it was really in there. It must have been there for weeks, you know, if not longer. And he got it out, you know, and we put it in our pocket. And when we finally got back, we cleaned it up pretty good. And it was a little bit rusted, a little bit nasty. And I wanted it bad. And I asked him, I'm like, "Chris, can I have that?" And he's like, "No, man, I found it. It's mine. That's my knife. I found it." I'm like, "All right, fine, whatever." And so maybe a day goes by. I don't even think, you know what? I don't even think the whole day went by. I think I just kept bugging him all day. And finally, I'm like, look, I'll give you a bag of weed for it." And he's like, "All right." And Chris wasn't stupid. He's a very smart kid. And he knew we'd smoke it together anyway, so what's the difference? He basically just said, "Hey, stop bugging me. Here you go." So even though it was technically a trade, it wasn't really a trade. He was just being nice. He knew I was excited about it, so he gave it to me. And cleaned it up, brought it home, gave it to my dad. My dad brought it to work, buffed it out, polished up these bolsters really nice for me. This thing was looking nice and purty, like it was brand new. And I used it. I didn't bring it to school. I've told my knife at school stories already. Any knife that I ever brought to school was an accident, except for the one without the blade. I took the art class, which I got almost expelled for, which that's a whole different story, which I probably already told. But anyway, yeah, it's been with me ever since. And, you know, through a couple moves and just, it's been various places in my house, but this means a lot to me. This is a very sentimental knife, but it's a good knife. And the moral of the story is that you don't need some crazy, you know, couple $100 tactical folder. You know, you don't need all these things that are coming out in the market. Get yourself something solid. Get yourself something like this, all right? Like I said, it's not as convenient. You have to put it in your pocket. Yeah, it's going to float around your pocket. It's going to turn. It's not the end of the world. You don't always need a pocket clip, you know? You don't always need a knife that weighs 2 ounces. This is a knife that works. This is a knife I could tell you that I've used day in and day out. And I didn't baby this at all. This is a found free knife, okay? I scraped the hell out of things. I mean, I abuse this knife, and it works. Still works today. Razor sharp, locks up perfect. There's no blade play at all. Okay, this is a quality knife. This is a Case Mako. All right, just like the Case Mako, the Buck 110, equally as good. I would recommend everyone out there who even remotely is interested in knives to own both those knives at some point in your life. Pick which one you like better, because they're both very similar. Just basically the style and the overall feel of it. And enjoy it. That's it. All you gotta do is enjoy it. It's a knife. It's a knife you can use. So, anyway, it's getting a little bit later now. Hopefully people are starting to get up. Thanks for watching, guys. I always appreciate your time. I'm glad you guys like the Storytime videos. I have tons and tons of stories to tell you. It's just sometimes I forget. I'm constantly trying to use different gear and knives and all kinds of stuff like that to be able to do reviews for you. You know, I want good, honest reviews, and I have to use this stuff in order to be able to do that for you. And so sometimes something as simple as turning on the camera and talking is forgotten. So I'll try more often to do these. So anyway, hope you guys enjoyed the view like I do. I'm actually going to come back out here in a little bit with a book. Once I put on some proper gloves and my face mask, it's not unbearable out here. It's probably, I don't know, 11 or 12 degrees out, which is, it's damn cold. Don't get me wrong. I mean, I know some of you guys brag out there. A couple of Eskimos watching the channel that, you know, 4 degrees is nothing. It's negative 20 here. Yeah. It's not normal for me. So this is friggin' cold. It's not just cold, it's friggin' cold. And as long as you're bundling up nice, it doesn't matter anyway. And there's actually, I'll leave you with this. There's a quote I've heard, and I don't remember where it's from. It could have been from a YouTuber, could have been from a book, who the hell knows. But it was, there is no cold weather. No, I'm sorry. Let me rephrase that. There is no bad weather, just unprepared people. What an awesome quote. Am I right? Absolutely. Have a great day. Thanks for watching. I'll see you soon. Take care.